Welcome to your specialised hypnosis session from hypnotherapistdirect.com. My name is Darren Marks. I'm a hypnotherapist, master practitioner of NLP and trainer of hypnosis and hypnotherapy. It is important that you never use this recording while driving or operating machinery. In order to get the maximum benefit, I strongly recommend using stereo headphones and finding a quiet, comfortable space where you will be undisturbed and can focus and concentrate totally. Limiting decisions or beliefs arise as a result of difficult or traumatic situations we have experienced. If you were to put them in sentence form, some examples may be, I'm not good enough, or I'm not in control, or I don't trust anyone. Or they could be more specific to a particular problem like, I can't stop eating, or I'm not motivated to exercise. The point is that statements like this arise for good reason but are inherently untrue and unhelpful when we hold on to them long term. There is of course a difference between a limiting decision and the truth. If I were to say, I can't speak Japanese, that would be true. But if I were to say, I can't learn Japanese, that would be a limiting decision. In order to let go of your limiting decisions and beliefs, we are going to use a process which involves looking at your life in the form of a timeline. Books and films have timelines, and so do our lives when we look at them in a progressive way, like using a calendar. There is no right or wrong way of going about it, but if I was to ask you, for example, where your past was and where your future was, I would expect you to say something like, my past is behind me, or my future is ahead of me. It tends to come out in people's language, so some people say things like, time is on my side, or the future's looking up, or way down there in the dim and distant past. The point is, we are on a journey, a path through life, and there is a direction to that journey. So assuming that there is a path and there is a direction, I would like you to imagine your own personal timeline and notice its direction. You cannot get this wrong. It's just the way that you do it and perceive things personally. And I would like you to do that now. Before you start, you need to be clear what limiting decision you're going to be working on. And when we begin, I will ask you to recall your earliest memory of making this decision, and this could be from any point in your life. The most common concern that people have before embarking on a process like this is that they won't remember the right thing. However, my experience is that people usually end up surprising themselves. All I can ask of you is that you trust that your unconscious mind will provide you with exactly the right scenario or sensation at the right time. Even if it seems strange or absurd, just trust that the first thing that comes to mind is the right moment to focus on. In a way, it doesn't even matter whether the memory is real or not. What's most important is that your brain has something to focus on, which will allow you to gain the necessary insights to let go of the decision and its associated negative emotions. In my opinion, one of the reasons that people hold on to limiting decisions and negative emotions is because they think that if they let them go, they will forget whatever it is that they were supposed to know as a result of feeling those feelings in the first place. Which isn't true. It is possible to preserve the learnings and let go of the emotions, beliefs, and decisions. For example, you want children to be wary of walking in front of traffic for obvious reasons. But you don't want them having panic attacks every time they see a car coming down the road. You simply want them to have a certain state of mind and inner knowledge that keeps them safe in that environment, but without the negative emotion of fear. And the same theory applies when letting go of limiting decisions and beliefs. The only other thing I would like to point out before we begin is that this is not about remembering upsetting experiences and getting really upset again. In order to get something useful from a negative experience, it's important to look at it from a distance, to be disassociated, to have an eagle's eye perspective. If you were telling me about an event that had happened in your life, and as you were